Being a forensic artist means sitting down with either a victim or witness of a crime and to try to sketch the best composite from their memory that they can offer you. Sketching a composite doesn't solve crimes, but it's a very good tool that the detective uses that encompasses the entire investigation, and it's just one step of that. The ones that do tend to be my most successful ones lead to tears to the victim or witness. But it's almost a cleansing for them as well, because they've taken the bad guy out of their head, they've put it on paper so they don't have to think about this guy anymore. And it's a powerful tool sometimes. It's a real powerful tool.
Joyce Nagy is a certified forensic artist for the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Based on witness descriptions, she draws sketches of suspects for all the Clackamas County police agencies.
Thank you for joining us for Inside Clackamas County from the Public Safety Training Center. I'm Clackamas County Commissioner Bill Kennemer.
And I'm Kimberly Jacobson. You may be wondering why we're at this shooting range, and that's because today's show deals with crime fighting. Guns are one of the many tools used by law enforcement to fight crime, but you may be surprised to learn that art can be just as effective.
Art?
That's right, art. And I learned firsthand through Joyce Nagy, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office forensic artist.
A crime is committed, a suspect at large. Police have many high-tech gadgets at their disposal to track him down, but it turns out a simple pencil, paper, and eraser may be one of their greatest assets.
In this day and age, we in law enforcement have many tools in which to draw from. DNA, fingerprinting, things of that nature. The personal skills, that is the ultimate, and Joyce possesses those personal skills in working with these victim witnesses and being able to put those images down on paper, and you can't buy that.
We had lots of questions about how all this works, so I decided to put the system to the test by becoming a witness to our own fake crime, a lunch theft from the employee lounge. The unwitting suspect, Inside Clackamas County producer Steve Lobel.
How do we get started with all of this?
Well, I start off by interviewing the person, and I kind of get what's in their head in my head. So I'm drawing the person in my head as we start and as they speak.
Joyce's office is welcoming, and her pleasant disposition immediately puts me at ease.
I get them to look at this book, and I always tell them this is their tool. This is the FBI facial identification book. So what you get is mug shots of inmates. I like it because it focuses my witness on the part that they need to focus on. So
Right, it literally is the Mr. Potato Head theory, in that the eyes might be the same as someone here and the nose over here, and you're just kind of drawing from each of these.
Exactly.
Joyce begins by drawing a grid, which allows her to start with whatever feature the witness remembers most.
What do you remember the most about him?
I think his hair is his most outstanding feature.
Okay. And what we'll do, I erase more than I draw. It's almost kind of like clay, where I'm going to get something down from what you've described to me. I kind of have something in my head. I'm going to get it down. And as you look through here, we'll refine those features that I have drawn. Do you remember his eye color?
I want to say brown. Brown, yeah.
What was he wearing?
It was a collared shirt, I think red.
As Joyce extracts things from my memory, it triggers more of my recollections, and slowly the picture begins to come alive.
Anything else on, was he?
His nose is more pronounced.
I may not be able to describe a part exactly, but I know when it's not quite right, and that's when her big eraser comes in handy.
And how tall is he?
Smaller.
Smaller? Okay. Anything else about him?
He wears glasses.
What kind of glasses? Oh, I've had some rape victims where I've had to cover up pieces that I've drawn because it's too real. But boy, we just, one we got within 48 hours of the crime.
Wow.
Because the gal did such a good job.
The sketch process, coupled with Joyce's trustworthy demeanor, oftentimes brings out more information for detectives.
Oftentimes when we go to the crime scene and we talk to these people that have been victimized, they're so traumatized that it takes a couple of days before their memory really comes back to recall for detail. Joyce has the ability to sit with these individuals and document that, and is able to bring that forward and bring that from them, and we end up getting an abundance of more information from these individuals.
Being done, in many cases, means letting go of a bad memory.
What I'm doing is I'm going to take that memory from your head and put it here on paper. This becomes evidence and goes upstairs into our property room, and then you don't have to think about this person anymore. Because it's down here. You don't ever have to think about this person anymore. And I've had parents write back to me saying, my daughter's eating, she's sleeping now, she's not having her nightmares.
Wow.
And it's just, it's like a relief to them.
Yeah.
So that's why it just kind of becomes the positive byproducts of going through a sketch.
This requires more than just a good artist. Many times she needs to be a friend and counselor.
Try and find something common.
Yeah, the common denominator, yeah.
Exactly, and then you just start to hit it off, and then that's a way of trust too. I want them to trust me, and because they know everything's confidential. They can tell me anything they want to,
Right.
and it's not going to go beyond these walls.
Although she draws in black and white, her office is adorned with her colorful artwork and stuffed animals for both children and adults to squeeze when the memories are tough.
How long does it normally take to finish a sketch?
With men, about an hour. With women, about an hour and a half.
Interesting.
Women tend to notice more jewelry, tattoos, hairstyles. Men is pretty, just, they're real structured. This is kind of it. And they figured out the nitty gritty.
Before long, an hour has passed, and we're getting very close to being done.
I'm going to say the chin is more square.
Okay.
They're not a thick lip, but they're not a thin lip. They're more on the thin than the thick side, though. Eyebrows, I think, now that you've got that drawn in, need to be bushier.
Bushier?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, why don't you close your eyes and get a real good image of him. And then when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and see if there's any other changes.
Oh my gosh. I think that's him. Yeah, definitely.
Good?
Yes.
Say we're done?
I would say so. Wow, that's amazing.
From KGW, where the news comes
Once a
first.
sketch is finished, it's circulated first through the local police agencies, then, if need be, to the general public through newspaper and television media.
Tonight, investigators are armed with a new tool in their search for a missing teenager. It's a sketch of the man last seen with that girl.
16-year-old who's been missing for 2 weeks now. Take a look at this picture. This is the man who may know where Cynthia Lamb is located, according to police.
Take a look at this sketch just released less than 3 hours ago. The man you see is wanted for 2 home invasions in Clackamas County.
Despite the title, Forensic Artist, Joyce's goal is not to create art, but instead to draw a detailed and accurate picture that can be used by police in solving crimes. The final sketch is admissible in court, and many times Joyce appears before a grand jury or a courtroom to testify about her drawings. Okay, now that the sketch is finished, the next step is to show it around and see if any part of it looks familiar to people who know this person. This is Steve. He's one of my coworkers. We're going to show it to people around the office, including Steve, to see if they can figure out who it is. This ought to be fun. 1,300 hours, and the lunch theft crime scene is getting cold. But we have the fresh witness sketch and a whole office full of people to question. Hey, Daisha, do you have a moment?
Sure I do.
This isn't a social call. We're here on official county business. I need you to take a look at the sketch and tell me who you think it might be.
Wow, that's a pretty good drawing.
Think hard. Take your time.
Kind of looks like Steve LaBelle to me.
You think?
Yeah.
We got a winner. Hey, Ron, do you have a minute?
Sure.
We're here on official county business. There's been a lunch missing from the employee refrigerator. We have an eyewitness, and we have reason to believe the suspect is on this floor.
Wow.
We have a sketch, and we want you to take a look and tell me if that looks like anybody you know.
You know, I can't place it.
Nothing about that looks familiar. From what we understand, it's somebody that works on this floor.
Really? It might be Jim Austin, but then maybe not. You know, I don't know. I don't think I can help you.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
Good, although I'm not here on good business. I'm here on official county business. There has been a lunch missing from the employee lounge, and we have a suspect and an eyewitness, and we have a sketch here, and we're trying to figure out who it is. It's somebody that works on this floor. Does this person look familiar to you at all?
Wow, kind of. It kind of looks like Steve.
Steve LaBelle.
It does.
Yeah, we think so.
But Steve wouldn't do something like that.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know.
It looks just like you.
And now it's time for the alleged culprit himself. Steve has no idea what we're up to. Hey, Steve, you have a minute?
Sure.
We've got a situation here. A lunch has gone missing out of the employee lounge, and we have an eyewitness. And we're just showing this sketch around, trying to figure out who it is. You want to take a look at it?
Absolutely.
Does that look like anybody you know?
No.
No?
Well,
Nobody?
it's familiar, but I'm drawing a blank. It's very familiar, and I'm sorry, I don't know who it is.
Do me a favor and look at the camera. Look at the camera.
All right, who is it supposed? I don't know. It can't be me. The mustache is too short.
Boy, do I feel dumb. After all that, it turns out Steve wasn't even there the day the lunch went missing.
Well, witnesses are not always reliable, but this is the electronic age, and surveillance cameras are becoming a lot more common.
That's right. We should check the lunchroom footage and pass it on to Joyce. In addition to murals and her sketching, video surveillance is becoming a very important part of her job.
Just about everywhere you go these days, you'll find a surveillance camera. When a crime is committed in a public place, there's a good chance the act was caught on tape. But the image is not always clear. Fortunately, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is able to take the surveillance footage and enhance it through a digital computer system. Forensic artist Joyce Nagy combs through the images frame by frame to find a suspect.
She can work with the individual victim witness as well as the images that she has available captured on the surveillance tape, and she can work by enhancing those images and bringing it one step forward. So she's not only using the individual victims, working with them, she's also working with the digitized images that we have available as well. Blending the two, she does a very, very good job.
This state-of-the-art video enhancement and processing software is helping catch suspects without a witness. Joyce is able to assemble critical video evidence along with still images and case notes in a single electronic file, once again putting a face on crime.
Here in the Portland metropolitan area, we have hundreds of thousands of people. Those are potential suspects. And when we have one incident that happens, we rely upon an image, some type of a resemblance. And that forensic sketch artist is an integral part of our investigation.
But Joyce's skills don't end here. In addition to pencil, paper, and surveillance video, Joyce uses clay to give crime a face. Using bones, Joyce can reconstruct the facial features that may help identify a victim. This cold case skull came to Joyce last year from Josephine County. In 1971, a father and son made a gruesome discovery on a camping trip when they happened across the remains of this young woman. Her auburn hair was still intact, but her body has never been claimed. Joyce uses 10 pounds of flesh-tone clay and her skillful fingers to create a face.
And again, it's like you can't put any of your art into it. You have to do exactly what the bones tell you to do in order to get that likeness of the person who that was.
Her green-gray eyes are from an eBay auction, her eyelashes from a drugstore, and her long auburn hair has been replaced by a costume wig. Once she came together, the name Annie seemed to fit.
Solving crime through art. An Oregon woman is using her talents to help solve a 30-year-old murder mystery with her hands. We'll show you how she's doing it.
Annie has appeared on all the local media, but to this point, she has not been identified. Joyce hopes someone will be able to recognize this young woman from her clay model and claim her so she may be properly put to rest.
Well, we've made our way into the gym here of the shooting range, and Joyce's work can be a little depressing at times, but she uses her off hours to create a very different kind of art.
Indeed, this wonderful mural is an example of her colorful work. And the shooting range, it's named after her father, James Brule, a former Portland police officer.
And her mother was an artist. She's the perfect combination of both of them. And when she isn't working, she loves nothing better than using her own vivid imagination and lots of color to create her own fun art. I had a lot of fun joining her.
A small ceramic studio in Selwood provides the perfect reprieve for forensic sketch artist Joyce Nagy.
The thing that impressed me most is she grabbed the biggest piece we had for sale, I think, and just started in on it. And I looked at it and thought, she needs no help. But she was very polite and asked questions and tried to get comfortable with the medium.
When she isn't drawing criminals in black and white, she likes to come here to play in vibrant colors.
You're bringing me into your world here. I've never done this before, but you get to have fun with color here.
Yes, I finally get away from black and white, and this is where I just kind of go.
Her Hawaiian tiki-themed plate couldn't be any further removed from the criminal mug she draws at work. As for me, I can't paint, so I decide I would be safe tackling an abstract art piece. Joyce is right at home here and loves the chance to create with her own mind.
Here, I actually can do whatever I want to do. Nobody's telling me what to paint and how to change it and everything. And so I have a little bit more liberties this way. And I can actually put myself into my artwork where I really can't in the other way.
Joyce's uncanny ability to put others at ease transfers well in this setting.
I could see how she could prosper in her position simply because she has the ability to break ice and to get that rapport going immediately. She walks up to my customers and encourages them. They think she works here sometimes, and you know, it's great. And it's that kind of attitude I like to have in here.
Joyce is just as comfortable tackling the bigger canvases. Her murals can be seen all over Amazing Glazing, around public offices in Clackamas County, and even in little girls' bedrooms. Her keen sense of art came from her mother, while her quirk for law enforcement is all her dad.
Well, my dad was a Portland police officer and was that for several years until he retired. And he was head of a lot of the squads that made a lot of news. And he was in charge of going against the Portland state rioting that was happening there with the students, and he had to go in and take people into custody and everything, and was
during the Vietnam War.
Exactly. So he got his picture in the paper quite a bit, and he was in charge of when the presidents came in, he was in charge of their security. So he got to meet a lot of the presidents.
Both parents passed away by the time she was 30, but Joyce carries on their legacy as the perfect combination of them both.
And my dad had a card that he kept laminated in his wallet of all the songs that I could play by memory. And we would go to different people's houses, the governor's house and the mayor's house. And after dinner, I would play the piano while they had cocktails and whatever and discuss politics. And so it was kind of interesting. So I think I was a pretty well-disciplined kid and kind of learned that part of it and learned politics that way too. And my mom was always so gracious, and she kind of taught me how to be a lady, and I try and remember those things as much as possible. But I think she gave me a lot of compassion in my heart for people, and same with my dad, just doing what he did. So as a police officer, because you have to have the compassion there, otherwise you wouldn't want to protect the people.
Joyce began her law enforcement career as a booking technician for the Clackamas County Jail.
I loved it. I thought it was great, and people say, but there's no windows in the jail. How do you work in there? And I go, you don't need a window, because all of life is right there out in your lobby. Because you get you get everybody. Yes. From their mistakes to just being on drugs and coming in drunk, and you don't need a window. Trust me, there's enough entertainment.
She went on to work in various administrative positions for the sheriff's office before finally taking on the role of certified composite artist in 2003. She has taken hours and hours of training and certification all over the country in forensic drawing, sculpting, and interviewing. When she isn't busy improving her own skills, she loves nothing better than passing them on to others.
And what I start with is a grid. I don't know if most of you can see this, is this grid that I have. And it shows where your eyes go, where your mouth goes, and where your nose goes. And
today she is a guest teacher for an art class at Rosemont Middle School in West Lynn. Collectively, the students describe a teacher who they pretend is missing.
What do you notice about him the most?
He has glasses. He's got facial hair.
What kind of facial hair?
A little goatee. Unshaven beard.
How about his hair? Let's get his hair in.
I don't remember what his eyes look like.
Joyce fields all of their comments to come up with a sketch.
Does he have like lines like I have in my cheeks like this?
Yeah.
Does it come down?
Yeah.
Okay.
As she finishes up, the missing teacher pays the class a visit, and it turns out both the students and Joyce did their job well.
Yeah, we nail ya. Just to get them hands-on and to get them excited about what my passion is, it just warms your heart. I mean, it's like, wow, this is cool.
Let's go ahead and thank Joyce for the time.
As exciting as Joyce's job is, it can also be incredibly stressful.
I have been asked that, you know, why did God do this to me, you know, and it's like, you know, God didn't do this to you. There's just monsters down here, but God is there to heal you. And, you know, and when you have a 12-year-old who's been raped who's asking you that and saying, why has this totally has changed my life? And I said, but God's going to be there to get you through it.
While Joyce would never push her faith on anyone, it's what gets her through the rough times.
They go, you know, what am I supposed to do now? You know, I go, well, pray on it, you know. And you know, a lot of times it says, you know, I'll be praying for you too, and I do. I've got a lot of people in my prayers.
Sometimes she comes in here just to chill out, seriously, and sometimes I don't see her put brushstroke one, even though she has a piece on it, we just chat and such, and I think she's probably had a bad day at the job or something like that. And good Lord, how could you not sometimes with the people that you have to deal with? It's our society, but I'm thankful that we have heroes like her that step up and try to help the offended.
I might come in here kind of grumpy thinking I really don't want to be here, but I'm going to just sit here for a while because I know eventually I'm going to see, you know, artwork. I'm going to get inspired, I'm going to see the color, and then it's just going to remove me from the workplace. And it's putting me into, okay, now I can play. You know, it's like I'm on recess now.
Whether on break or on the job, Joyce's zest for life, her compassion, and her gift for art are making a huge impact in Clackamas County. It has been said that art imitates life through color, through teaching, and sometimes through dark recollections. And with each masterpiece, the artist reveals a little of herself.
Well, that was tons of fun, and look at my final product. What do you think?
I think it looks like fun.
And guess what? I've got some good news. It turns out they got some footage of that lunchroom bandit, and Joyce was able to actually do a sketch. She just handed it to me. Does this look like anybody you know?
Maybe.
Here's our lunchroom bandit. Thanks for joining us for Inside Clackamas County, the show that keeps you connected with your community.